And in China, there was a prohibition on video game consoles. And the reason why was they wanted to keep kids away from being addicted to video games. But as there's a will and a desire to play video games, there's a way. Nintendo wanted to sell in China's market and bring their quality of games to it. But with this prohibition thing going on, they had to figure out a way. So it's 2003, and the Nintendo 64 days are over. So Nintendo, having this large library of great but older games, they seem to be the perfect thing to sell at a much lower price to the low-income Chinese people. So Nintendo found a loophole in the law, and they paired up with a Chinese-American entrepreneur to develop the Ique, spelled Ique. The Ique Player was a controller that looks like a classic Xbox controller. The loophole that Nintendo found was that they could sell this legally in China, as there was no box that represented a console involved with the Ique Player. It's a plug-and-play type of system, as all the hardware to play all the games were installed inside the controller. On November 17, 2003, the Ique Player hit the Chinese market and was sold for $85. And they also released Ique depots placed in certain retail stores throughout China. This is when Chinese players, if they wanted to have a new game, they could take their controller and go up to the Ique depot and use the flash memory card onto the controller and load their new games onto it. And over the next 3 years, 14 games were released. During its launch, the first games released for it were Dr. Mario 64, Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, Wave Race 64, and The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Instead of dropping a bunch of games at once, Nintendo wanted to space them out much like they would do any other release for any games. So from December 2003 all the way up to 2006, they released Mario Kart 64, F-Zero X, Yoshi's Story, Paper Mario, Sin and Punishment, Excitebike 64, Super Smash Bros., Custom Robo, and Animal Crossing.